Oftentimes when folks think of snack foods, they think of Lance. In the Myrtle Beach area, when they think of volunteers, they think of this Lance. You'll meet him coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at Redline Power Sports on Highway 501 in Myrtle Beach. We're focused on the 13th annual American Heart Fall, and we're visiting with Lance Thompson, one of the volunteers with the Heart Association.
Greg.
Good morning, Lance.
Hi, Greg. How are you?
I always get a little flustered when I'm sitting in a place like Redline Power Sports.
This is a great store, isn't it? This is wonderful.
44,000 square feet.
It's beautiful.
It's
Absolutely
amazing.
Beautiful.
It goes on and on.
It sure does.
You had a chance to walk through early this morning. You've been
did.
out here before.
I'm excited about all this inventory out here and all the great products that Jonathan has.
Absolutely. And, of course, Jonathan will be with us tomorrow morning. We're highlighting, as you know, he's made another big donation to the Heart Ball this year.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Really excited about that. And, of course, later in the week, Holly Hayes will be with us highlighting some Arch at I'm stuff. And I think he donated also to the big chef's auction back in the fall.
He's great to do things for the community and wonderful community leader.
Absolutely. Speaking from takes one to know one, Lance. I was thinking about it as I was driving up here this morning, thinking about the interview. It was about 10 years ago. We were in Leadership Grand Strand together.
Sure
and soon
was.
after that, you then became the chamber board chairman of the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce. Later went on to be the chairman of the board of the Heart Association, the local division, Orion Georgetown County, and continue to serve in volunteer leadership roles. How do you find the time?
You're wondering when I do my real job, right?
Yeah, that's right. How do you run Ocean Lakes Family Campground?
Well, I work for a great company, and they encourage us to get involved in the community, and it's been a real nice situation for me, and something that I enjoy doing, and really comes from the heart. So, it's been a pleasure for me and a benefit to be able to work with the Jackson companies and have such great support from them.
Absolutely, and I introduced you as a volunteer of the Heart Association rather than general manager of Ocean Lakes Family Campground, vice president and general manager, a position you've had for a long. Is it 2 decades now? You've been with the.
I've been with the Jackson companies for 22 years now.
Wow,
hard to believe.
That is amazing.
22 years.
That is amazing. How long have you served the role as vice president and general manager?
About 15 years.
Is that right?
I actually started as the first full-time recreation director with Ocean Lakes Family Campground back in 1985, and just kind of grew from there. Went into the office, became office manager, and then became general manager, and have just been very fortunate to be associated with the Jackson family and Ocean Lakes and the Jackson companies.
Wow! Now that 310-acre footprint probably hadn't changed. I mean, what's inside it has changed. The size it hadn't, but over the course.
I wish we were able to expand that. We can't go any further east because of the ocean and west because of 17 business, but I wish we could expand more. But no, we're kind of self-contained with that 310 acres, but we have made tremendous changes with inside the property and inside our gates.
There's so many other great, as you know, camping facilities up and down the Strand, and I think as you're driving in on 501, there's this. You take a right there on 544,
right,
and you just follow it literally till it
runs you right into our gate.
It's
That's
incredible.
right.
You see many of the other camping facilities saying, take a left when you hit 17 business, or take a right, take a left, go a couple miles. With y'all, it is you can't miss it.
Mr. Jackson tells a funny story that people used to say, well, that's amazing how that road just ends right at your gate. And it used to be our gate wasn't right there, but when that road came in, he moved the gate for that reason. And so, to specifically line up so it would 544 would dead end into our front entrance. So
it is amazing.
He was very wise to do that.
Lance, do you still have folks that visit the family campground for the first time?
Sure. Yeah, although a lot of our business is repeat business, and we've been fortunate to have people with, through 3 generations of families to camp with us, but we're continually attracting new new people into the camping industry, and new people that are coming to Myrtle Beach for the first time or trying Ocean Lakes for the first time. So it's kind of a continuing and evolving business, and something we're very fortunate to be involved with.
Absolutely. It was fascinating. This past weekend, I was with a woman whose family had grown up coming down to Myrtle Beach forever. They had never been to Ocean Lakes. I think she was at a place that Shenandoah. It may or may not be still in business, but it was fascinating hearing her talk about the experiences for her family.
Right.
20-some years ago, coming down here every summer.
Right.
Every
right.
summer, and I'm sure, as you say, repeat business.
Absolutely. I myself grew up camping in Myrtle Beach from North Carolina. My dad was in textiles, and so the 4th of July was vacation for us, and so we came to Myrtle Beach every summer, the 4th of July, and we always camped. So it's interesting, and you know, the family evolution, and again through 3 generations that we've had in being in business almost 40 years.
That's amazing, Lance. You know, and of course, for our focus is the Heart Ball, and we're coming up on February 17th. But for folks who've never visited Ocean Lakes, could you give folks just a sense of what's that like?
Sure.
I mean, 310 acres
Right.
is difficult to get my mind around
Right.
that when you visit for the first time.
Well, we like to think that we're a full-service resort for everybody. We do have family campground in our name, Greg, but we also have 2,600 what we call annual lease sites, and those are started out as kind of permanent campsites and have evolved into now beach houses. A number of those annual lease sites actually have beach houses in them. So we've got something for everybody, whether it's a camper in a tent, a camper in a $2 million motorhome, a rental house for somebody. If somebody wants a second home at Ocean Lakes, we have a number of full-time residents there. So and we like to think that we provide something for everybody. You know, you come through our main gate and are welcomed by a security guard there waving you through, and then from the amenities from a Camptown store and 3 different food facilities and the swimming pools and arcades for the kids and putt-putt, and again, just like to think we have something for everybody, and probably as self-contained as we could be in terms of people coming to visit and not having to leave our gates. They sometimes will come and stay a week with us and never step foot outside of our gates, as opposed to a hotel where they might be going out to eat or to a different activity. But we like to think we've got everything inside our gates to keep people busy and happy and satisfied the entire stay of their vacation.
And a lot of full-time residents. I don't
Absolutely.
think I knew that.
Yeah, there's about 350 of our full-time or of our annual lease sites that are occupied on a full-time basis, and people make that their home and have just chosen to live inside our gated community with security and all the amenities and facilities that we have. And it's a nice place for folks to do that and have a lot of family and friends and what we call teammates, employees around them,
right.
And a very high sense of comfort and confidence for those folks.
You also mentioned $2 million RV, Lance?
Yeah, that's we do have some folks that pull in those great big motor coaches that sell new for $2 million. It's hard to believe, but those things are really palaces on wheels as they come rolling in.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever heard of that.
You need to come down and tour one of them when we got some of those folks around, because it's really impressive. But a lot of them, the kind of buses that the music entertainers are utilizing, or the NASCAR drivers, really interesting to see those things and what has evolved from a very small camper years and years and years ago. Now just a huge motor coach and with all the comforts of home.
I remember Mary Emily's husband, Nelson Jackson, the co-founders of Ocean Lakes, were with us a couple of years ago at the studio, and he had a picture of he and his wife and their five daughters.
Right.
They're early on in a very nice RV at that time,
Right.
which I guess was a heck of a long time ago.
He had one of the first 50 motorhomes in the United States. It was an old Trailways bus that was converted over, and as he traveled around the United States selling textiles, that was a way that was convenient for he and his family to travel and not have to go in and out of hotels, and so he was one of the pioneers in the industry, and then just came on and developed Ocean Lakes Family Campground starting in the late 60s, and it's just been a real success story for the Jackson family ever since.
Absolutely. A lot of folks could learn a lot of this great information online if they've never visited Ocean Lakes Family Campground. I think it's oceanlakes.com.
It is, correct.
Oceanlakes.com, a great-looking website which looks like it's constantly updated.
It is.
In addition, it has some great information about an award y'all won in 2006 in Columbia.
Yeah, we were very happy to be awarded the South Carolina Governor's Cup in 2006, which really, for us, kind of raised the bar. We had always been in competition with other campgrounds, both locally and nationally, and have been fortunate enough to receive some awards. But this kind of took us to the next level, not competing just against campgrounds, but other attractions in the state of South Carolina, and we were very fortunate to have been awarded that.
Either you or Dennis Wade were quoted reminding folks of being associated with Carowin, or the Paramount's location,
Right.
I believe,
Right.
or
They're
the Carolina
past winner.
Opry and Broadway of the Beach, and
Absolutely.
Barefoot, some amazing
Yeah.
locations.
All of those folks, Ripley's, all of those folks were past winners, and something that we feel very proud of about being associated with. Same kind of attractions, and something that we feel like brings folks to Myrtle Beach and the Grand Strand area.
Mm-hmm. What prompted your original involvement with the American Heart Association, Lance? You know, so many folks get involved for different reasons, as you shared earlier on. The Jackson companies, the Jackson family, being very supportive of you, and so many of the teammates at Ocean Lakes and all over the company getting involved. Was there anything?
Yeah, there was, Grace. We've talked many times about heart disease has touched just about everybody, either a family, friend, somebody that has had heart disease. And for us, our 11-year-old daughter, Savannah, who has Williams syndrome, also has heart disease. And so because of her issue with her heart, and ended up having an open heart surgery back in 1999.
Your daughter had open heart surgery.
She did, yeah. And so that really prompted both my wife and I to get involved with the Heart Association and try to do as much as we could to help raise funds and help with the research and development, because we feel like the things that had happened before 1999 actually helped save our daughter's life. The things that, I'm not sure Savannah would be here today without the support of the Heart Association and all that's gone into the research and development. So that it's a special association for us, and certainly the connection with Savannah and her heart disease is one of the main reasons why we got involved.
Lance, Dr. Andy Gresco's co-chaired the Heart Ball many times in the past, obviously founded Waccamaw Cardiology, and is co-chairing this year's Heart Ball. Will be with us on Thursday.
Right.
I wanted to look forward to talking to him about some of the things who have planned heart open heart surgeries and otherwise. Was that something that you all knew about well ahead of time going into it, Savannah's open heart surgery?
We did. When Savannah was born in 1995, again, we knew that she had Williams syndrome, and every Williams child has heart disease. So we knew that at some point in time she was going to be faced with open heart surgery, and the doctors encouraged us to wait as long as possible to let her grow bigger and stronger and hopefully not outgrow the surgery and have to go through it again. And she was almost 4 years old when the doctor said, okay, it's time. She's getting to the point now where her aortic artery was narrowing to the point where the blood flow was just not sufficient. So we went down to MUSC expecting to spend 3 to 5 days, have the surgery, and be back home. And unfortunately, right after the anesthesia was administered to Savannah, she went into cardiac arrest on the operating table, and the doctors could not get her heart started back. And so they came to us in the hospital and told us, the devastating news, but said that they had located the surgeon, were going to go ahead and open her chest and get her on the bypass machine, and that hopefully they would try to get her heart started back after the surgery. But they warned us that there was a good chance that would not happen. They did do the surgery, and fortunately they were able to get her heart started back after the surgery. And when they came and met with us and said, that's the good news. The bad news is she was without oxygen to her brain for about 25 minutes and had suffered significant brain damage. So we really didn't know what to expect, but we're so thankful that the surgeon did go ahead and open her chest. We, looking back, had thought, what if the doctor just said, we've tried everything we could, we just can't get her heart started back. There's nothing we can do for her. But they went ahead and opened her chest and got her on the bypass machine, and for that we're thankful. And so we were told right after that they needed for Savannah to wake up quickly after the surgery. The longer it took for her to wake up, the worse it was going to be. And at the 23rd day, they came in and told us, here she is. She's on life support. She's on a respirator. She's got a feeding tube in. She's not responding to anything. She's not getting better. She's got no awareness of anything around her. She's just not going to get any better. What you see is what you got, and you need to start thinking about some decisions. And which obviously was just a terrible news for us, but something that Marjorie and I started to talk about. But ironically enough, that night she started to get better. I've told you this story before, but Savannah's always been a very sensitive child and had something that she called sad songs. It was one of those songs that Marjorie started singing to her, and a tear actually came out of her eye. And when Marjorie called me here at home and said, I think Savannah recognized that I was singing to her. I thought she'd lost her mind. I really thought that.
You said 23 days.
23 days of laying in a coma and not responding to anything. So, but when she started waking up, she woke up quickly, and we got her out of the hospital after about 6 weeks and brought her home. And shortly after that, the feeding tube came out of her stomach, and she relearned how to walk. And now it's amazing to see her as an 11-year-old today. The things she's able to do. When the doctors told us that, we said, if there was any way she could just recognize us or smile or, anything, even if she was bedridden, it would make all the difference in the world. But what kind of quality of life would that have been, just to lay in a bed on a respirator and life support and not even recognize us? So the things that we wished for that she was able to do that day have been, far beyond, thousands of times more than we could have ever expected. So we're so very thankful that things turned out the way they did, and are fortunate to have Savannah here today and able to enjoy life and us to enjoy her. And again, I think the Heart Association was a big part of that in helping with the research and development. The doctors know what to do and to save her life.
Yeah, you talked about the bypass machine, and of course for folks who are in a difficult position, someone who drops at a golf course,
right,
or at the campground, y'all may have the AEDs.
We
Absolutely.
Do, sure, yeah, because all that could make a difference in someone's life. So the Heart Association does such a great job, and it's something that's so very important to us, and that we feel privileged to be able to be a part of and meet such great people and work with such great volunteers throughout the Grand Strand area. It's just been wonderfully rewarding and fulfilling for us.
And that's a key word, and of course a word that a lot of folks need to think about: volunteers. And they need to think about a phone number. I think there's a good phone number for the Heart Association if someone has to leave now to get off to school or get off to work, Lance.
Right.
Share with them the phone number that someone can call to learn more about the Heart Ball.
Yeah, 626-3939, of course, area code 843, right there into the American Heart Association office, and can get information about the Heart Ball, ways that they can help to volunteer, get tickets, attend the event, just to somehow be involved with the Heart Ball or the Heart Association in general. We're always looking for great people, and it's amazing how wonderful people have been to come in and help in any way possible.
Absolutely. Volunteer is a key thing, and as you say, a lot of folks may be going out of town for, in the Myrtle Beach area, a lot of folks take the winter and go south, or even go further south. And, of course, they may not be around for the Heart Ball, but it's a real opportunity. Andy, who'll be with us on Thursday, is highlighting that he can't even attend the gala.
Right.
But he's still co-chairing, and he's still a very sizable sponsor. He's still committing dollars and time year after year, even though he can't be there. And so we know, as you say, whether you can attend the Heart Ball on the 17th, just being a part, calling, even donating an auction item.
Absolutely. Anything to get involved and to help this be a success would be wonderful.
Give folks a sense of what the night is like, Lance. For someone who hadn't attended the Heart Ball in the past, the tickets are now on sale. Obviously, we're January 22nd. We're in a position now. Tickets are starting to flow. Folks can call the office if they haven't bought a ticket. They can even sign up for a sponsorship.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we'd love for people to do that. And it's really just an enchanting evening. It's an opportunity for people to come out and enjoy a wonderful facility at Kingston Plantation and a wonderful event with the food and dancing and dining and auction items. And it's really, kind of the social event of the spring for a lot of people that people look forward to that every year and mark their calendar early when the date's set and really want to come be a part of that. So it's, people really seem to have a good time, and it just becomes an enchanting evening for people. And again, it's doing it for a good cause. Everybody's having a good time, but I think we all remember the reason too that we're doing what we're doing. It's so important to do what we do for the Heart Association.
The number 1 and number 3 killer, Lance. We talked about that. I want to break down the evening. We'll get into that. And as you say, the date is set, February 17th.
Right.
A lot of folks think, how can I be there for 6 hours, 6 to midnight?
Right.
The time just flies.
Oh, it flies by. People say, where did the time go? Now it's time to go. And, I still wanted to dance some more, or I hadn't even gone over to speak to Greg or Lance or whoever. I mean, it's such a wonderful event, and people have such a great time.
Absolutely. And, of course, you've been involved on the sponsorship committee. I know we're sending out a lot of letters to chamber members and others year after year, either co-chairing or sponsoring and doing other aspects. You all have a very aggressive goal, but the entire gala has a big goal. Yeah,
we're trying to raise almost $400,000, and hopefully we can do that. And again, we've been very successful in the past, and to raise that kind of money, people are attending the event and having a good time, and they might buy something that they need at the auction, and certainly the ticket price, or if they're coming as a sponsor, is something that people think is well worth their time and effort and money. That again, it's for a good cause, and people just have a great time. It's something that people really look forward forward to every year.
This gorgeous jet ski right behind you here.
Yeah, Jonathan's been so great. That's going to be one of our hot items at the auction. And so if anybody's looking for a jet ski, it's a great time to come out and get one of these beautiful things right here.
Colors kind of match that.
How about that? Yeah.
Could,
maybe I could get that.
Listen up, Marjorie. You
I
hear
have to
that?
talk to my wife
Savannah,
about that now. She controls the purse strings.
Getting Dad going. I love it. I love it for good reason. Well, it's so fascinating when you think about, and I think we talked about some of those facts and figures of heart disease and stroke and why folks really need to think, they think 400,000, how could I be a part of really making a difference?
Right.
But every ticket that's sold,
Absolutely.
every sponsorship that's sold, every item that's donated to a silent or live auction, you never know, and getting in front of 1,000 people.
Right, right. It all works together, and you're right. Every little bit helps. Every ticket price, even small items that are donated for the auction, a lot of times are grouped together with other items, and people say, well, nobody's going to want to bid on this little thing that I've got to offer, but it could be packaged together, and a lot of times that's what really people are looking for. A dinner here, a dance here, an activity here, an amusement, and all that together. People say, well, gosh, what a great night out or a great weekend. So anything that people can do to help would certainly be appreciated, and we'd like for people to come out and try to get involved.
And it is just that easy. If they call the Heart Association office, I think you said the number 626-3939.
Correct.
They can call, get the fax number there, or if they've got a fax number, the Heart Association office can mail them a auction donation form.
Correct.
Of course, they can also they can go online to learn more about the Heart Association, but for this specific event, really the vehicle is to call.
Absolutely. We would like for people to call the office and for any reason, if it's for tickets, if it's for donating an item, and there's folks there that can help out and answer any questions, and if we need to send out the item donation form, we can do that, and any way we can help, we'd be glad to do that.
Enchanted evening are such great words, Lance. I don't think I've heard that described, but it is a perfect description.
Maybe we'll put that on the front of a brochure or
Absolutely, we should, and we've got some great-looking brochures. This
Sure.
is one I think that was used for sending out, and of course it's got some tremendous facts and figures.
Yeah, that's a great
event.
piece that lets people know just how important what the Heart Association's doing is. And
it highlights the presenting sponsors well this year.
Understanding Corporation is great to have them. We're so happy that they're involved, and we're really looking forward to their involvement going forward too.
Absolutely, years to come. Last week at the ICE Awards, they were the presenting sponsor of the ICE Awards. Last week at the House of Blues, highlighting 20 individuals and businesses at the awards for the
very happy to have them as the presenting sponsor.
Very definitely, and some other great sponsors. We highlight so oftentimes. Just last week, someone stepped on board for a gold sponsorship, a $5,500 sponsorship, Dunes Investments.
Right.
We have the regulars like Conway Medical Center and Grand Strand Regional Medical Center, Georgetown Memorial this year, jumping up to that gold sponsorship level, which is so critical. And of course,
it is.
Penny Bowling, Century 21, and someone else who is slipping me. Forgive me. That's why I hate always mentioning, because there's so many great sponsors.
There are, and people have done a great job to come in and sponsor and up their levels and all. And you're right, we've been very fortunate.
Absolutely, Lance. When you think about the evening itself, we talk about the 6 hours disappearing, but for a viewer, since tickets are now on sale, what are they going to get if they buy a ticket? And the tickets they sound like a big number, $175 a ticket, but of course it's right after Valentine's.
Correct.
It's a great way to make it a special Valentine's weekend package. It's a new location.
It is, and to be a black tie event, everybody likes to get dressed up and come in and make it a really special evening. And so, the dinner and dancing and drinks and auction, and it's just a wonderful evening from beginning to end. And I think, without doubt, everyone feels like, $175 is a lot for a ticket, but it was well worth it for the evening that I got, the enjoyment that I had, and doing something good as well. I think everybody feels a sense of achievement after that, and says, I had a great time, but I also did something good.
And of course, Club Car, again, we wanted to thank you, Lance, and all the folks at Ocean Lakes Family Campground for soliciting that donation. Again, Club Car donating another golf car for us. And I want to say golf cart, but it's really a car now.
Yeah, the industry standard now is to call it a golf car, and that's generally another one of the popular items at the auction. And so we're happy to have Club Car back involved and on as a sponsor again.
Absolutely. Any auction items in the past that stick out in your mind, Lance, that you remember, and even maybe some this year?
Gosh, there's a lot of trips that people are interested in. Again, Jonathan's been great about the donations that he's done. The jet ski's always a big item that people are interested in. And so, it's everything from clothes and trips and golf clubs and art, and I mean it's really a vast array of things at the auction. It's almost something for everybody. If you can find something that you're interested in.
Oftentimes stuff you'll never see in stores.
Oh, absolutely.
Stuff that just are not available anywhere.
That's exactly right, Greg.
Lance, thanks so much for being with
Thank
us
you.
this morning.
I enjoyed
really
it. Thank you so
that.
much. Good to see you
Absolutely.
again.
Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Lance Thompson coming up next. You know, folks get involved with events and organizations for different reasons, whether it's the parent of a child with Williams syndrome who knows that heart disease is going to be something they deal with every day the rest of their lives, or someone who wants to get an item from their business in front of 1,000 business people in town to be able to get the word out and potentially pick up a customer. There's a reason to be involved in the Heart Ball. Folks have different reasons, but you can be a part of it. The phone number's simple, 843-626-3939. The night's very close, less than a month away. Saturday, February 17th, you can make it a big Valentine's package weekend. It can be a big weekend, a big night, 6 to midnight, jumpstart. It's going to be a tremendous evening, but you got to give them a call. Give them a call, 843-626-3939.